you're ranging out to your target, manually or your own kind of guessing there. Then you switch over to your spotting rifle, fire the round. It's a tracer round. If it hits the target, great. That is where your rocket will hit once you launch that.
So it's just a testing.
Yeah,
it's confirm.
Yeah, but it actually helps a lot
because
it will actually kill people. You can shoot people with it. It does help a lot because you can confirm shots pretty easily and pretty quickly. Okay.
It avoids embarrassment mostly.
Yeah. Moving on, the Dragon is now the Dragon's a fun system because it doesn't really use a rocket. It kind of uses small explosives on the charge.
It farts.
Yes, it does fart. It's a fun thing, but it's a little bit screwed up. To use the Dragon, you have to deploy it on the ground with your ace keys. So you will have the Dragon and the sight unit. You will hit R, the Dragon will load. You will then use your ace keys to deploy the Dragon. It'll deploy on the ground. You will then have to get in like it's a CSW, like it's a crew serve weapon. And only then can you fire it. A very easy way that you're doing this is you always want to aim up with the Dragon. We'll learn more about that later, but you always want to aim above your target to begin with the Dragon because it drops like a motherfucker. The Javelin, obviously we all know, kind of based around that. Man-portable, fire and forget, top attack, anti-tank missile. Good long range. However, the actual launcher will not lock on to anything out past about, I think it's 2,500 meters. So the range is 2,500 meters and closer. There's anything real close is not going to go well with that. It also has a straight attack mode, though, I'd advise not using that one. You should be able to lock on to targets with that. It's a primary sort of way to do an actual assault. It's good on the defense, but once you get in tight, you'd rather have an AT4 because you've got time to acquire and lock on the Javelin. The TOW is a man-portable it's very heavy, crew serve weapon, where you have two separate parts and an ammo container. And the two separate parts, you've got a tripod and then the actual TOW. The TOW is effective out to about 4,000 meters. And it has a significantly heavier warhead than the Dragon or the Jav or anything else here. It's a powerful anti-tank unit. It is very easy to use. Once you've set it up, you fire it, it will follow your crosshairs, it will hit the target generally. So it is pretty easy to use. Does anybody have, before I get going here, is there anybody here who wants to go over, and we could probably do this on real targets, so that might be a little bit more fun. So I think what we're going to do right now is I am going to start spawning, or I guess Jub has already started spawning this stuff. We're all going to hop in those tanks, and we are going to drive them out to about in the middle of the junkyard over to the northwest. We're going to drive them out to about 052-113-ish. We're going to leave them in a number of different places on the junkyard. I will then roll up in the Humvee. We'll collect you guys from them, and we will roll up to a position at about 054-118-ish. Got real good overlook on there. We have, and this is going to be our firing pause. I'll put that on the map too.
Aqua.
Yeah.
I can use the teleport function to place them if you want to, if that's easier.
Well, I'm going to have to...
Only if it's easier. If you want to do it your way, then that's fine. I just wanted to...
It doesn't really matter.
Sure.
And as long as you guys are cool with it, we'll just run out there, everybody grab a tank, just drive it out to that position, and just stash it in a number of different places. So that's a baseline position, but on that X on the map, somewhere within 100 meters of that location, leave your vehicle, and I will be following up. That Humvee has enough AT to level the entire map, and we'll head up to the mountain and just start shooting.
Hey, Aqua.
Yeah.
Clear the back blast. See the, yeah, maybe everybody else should. You see all those, cars way the fuck out there? I used the small spotting round. I shot, what, 5 rounds at it. Finally hit that big rock out there, and I just piled a whole bunch of cars. I want to actually see if this will hit. So this is over, when you hit the up and down arrows with the small, FYI, it only goes up to 500. So this is way over, and I'm using like the bottom stadia on the site. Firing now. Just a little
A
over.
little over, yeah. That reminds me, everybody put in your... You killed the press, by the way. Everybody put in your earplugs.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot again. This should hit. I hope.
Well, I have AirPods on. Why am I...
Firing now.
Even with the earplugs
Yes,
on,
that's
you bring
allowed.
a bit. There we go.
It's better.
All right. So let's see if the other ones go up. Unfortunate. All right. All right, guys. Head to the tanks. Get to the position. There are tanks to your southwest. Just everybody grab a vehicle. Drive to the position. I will be following.
I know I'm a bastard.
I am not,
I'm
so
not.
that everybody can hear me. Just make sure that everybody gets a vehicle. So if everybody's in one already, yeah, grab it. We're going to be shooting at a variety of targets: tanks, BTRs, everything. And let's try not to shoot each other on the way there.
Hey Aqua, is this AT training?
Yeah. No, it's marked on your map. The location that we need to go is marked on your map. It's
Why
pretty
am I
simple.
unable
It's
to
just in the
spawn
middle
off
of the junkyard somewhere.
Why am I unable to spawn off there?
It was working for me earlier today,
How do you do it?
but I kind of don't want to tell you because I feel like you're going to spawn a massive assault on us while we're trying to
No,
train.
I know how to spawn enemies and everything. I'm in the empty vehicles.
The empty vehicles, there is a... the way that I was spawning them was in a... yeah, there's a... The... Okay, guys, when you're out of your
I see.
tanks here, you just come to the Humvee. We'll all load up and we'll drive up there. Well, we'll engage them later. We're going to shoot a lot of AT rounds, so don't worry. We'll have time.
Please in the game can take a lot more shots than Russian for some reason.
Okay, I'm in.
Alright, we're waiting for another couple. Is there anybody who just drove your vehicle around and is not in the Humvee?
Oh, there's still one guy behind us.
Alright, cool.
It's job.
I think there's one man behind.
Yeah, they'll meet us up there. It's not a terribly difficult drive to make. Where the hell is a breach in the fence? There it is.
Why won't the dragon let me go onto this gunner?
I don't know.
Is there some other component you have to bring with it than just the two?
You should be able to deploy it,
Yeah, I did that.
and it won't let you?
Yeah, it won't let me get onto this gunner now.
Huh, well, we'll see. I was working earlier today.
You fucked it up.
All right. Okay, so we are going to start out with the javelin. So there should be 4 clues in there. I don't know if anybody else brought extra clues. So first 4 people grab a clue, and there are a lot of tubes in there. So the first 4 people to grab a clue gets it, and they'll take the first shot, and then we'll get more.
Do you want to translate?
I'm sorry, what?
I have no idea what you're saying.
The clue, the command launch unit. At the bottom with the jav, to launch it, you're going to need a CLU.
Which projectile is the javelin?
FGM 148 Javelin. It's at the top. So there are 2 left. Why don't you guys grab javelins?
No. Where's the rocket?
The rocket is that big tube.
Oh, okay.
So you have the rocket and you have the clue.
Alright.
So once you get both of those out, you are going to pull out the tube. So it should say, you can use the clue as a thermal sight. So you can actually use it without the tube and just to look at things. But if you actually want to fire the weapon, you're going to need to pull out the tube, then hit R, and that should pull out your clue. Now once you have that out, you should be able to look down in thermals in a fairly broad view and find a target. After that, once you have found your specific target, you hit your plus to zoom in on your numpad. By default, you may have changed it, and that will then allow you to lock on targets. So we are going to start from the right to the left, or at least my right to the left. So first to fire, actually no, because Jackson knows how to do this.
No, don't let me fire. I'm just checking the thermals.
All right, well then Brazda is going to start off, then we're going to go to his right, so all the way down the line. So Brazda, then Bertrand, then Ninja, but Brazda is going to start off. You're going to find a target. You are going to lock in on it, wait until you get constant tone, and then you are going to ask us to clear the backblast, at which point you will be good.
Right, how do you lock on?
So you should be able to, you're seeing this in thermals, correct? You're in your clue with thermals.
Right, yeah, now I am, yeah.
Okay, now you should be, and I'm assuming you're at default, you should be able to push plus on your numpad, and that will zoom you in a little bit, like you would be in a vehicle, the way you'd zoom in a vehicle.
Yep, done that, yeah.
Okay, now
Why
if
does
you...
it have to be with thermals?
It doesn't have to be, but kind of.
It's
It does.
Yeah, it is easier. So now just hover over your target, and you should start to hear first an intermittent tone, and then it should be solid tone. You should have a little box over the target too.
Yep.
Okay, now once you're hearing that solid tone, that means you are locked and you are able to fire. When you're able to fire, when you have a target, now we'll go over this in different types of engagements and when we're actually going to be doing some of this stuff under kind of combat-ish scenarios. But right now, because you have all the time in the world, once you're ready to lock, you say clear my backblast, even though this is a soft launch, it still has backblast, and then you engage.
Okay, clear my backblast.
You're good?
Okay, rocket wing.
Alright, good hit. And now we'll wait for the secondaries. Okay.
So I can't switch to thermals.
It should be N key by default. Now, Bertrand, you are up. Do you have a target?
No, I can't switch to thermals. Maybe take the next person while I try to fix it.
November.
Ah, yes.
There you go.
Okay. Now, once you have a target selected, remember you have to hit plus key on your numpad. That will zoom you in. And once you're hovering over the target, you will lock. You will hear a sketchy tone and then an intermittent tone. And then you will hear a solid tone. Once you have that solid tone, you have lock and you are able to launch. Well, you're able to launch at any time, but once you have a lock, it'll actually hit it. Alright, so whenever you're ready, just let us know to clear your backblast and then we'll okay you in.
Yeah. I get a square and I get a crosshair, but not a solid tone.
Okay, just hover over there for a little bit. You should get a solid tone pretty quickly. I mean, it only takes a couple of seconds, so if you're hearing anything and you're holding it steady over the target, it should be correct.
It has to be in thermal.
You are in thermal, correct?
It's a gray screen.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you're getting a tone and it's on there, why don't you,
Okay, I'll fire. It's not a constant tone, but
Yeah, go ahead.
backblast clear. Oh, it's
Yep.
on target.
Alright, good hit. Yep, it's not a, I don't, it, really, the term for it is constant tone, even though it may not sound like a constant tone to a layman. Now, Ninja is going to be our next.
I want to go.
There's enough vehicles, we had 4 at least.
Alright.
Yeah, there's more in there. It's 5 and more together, there's 6 maybe.
Alright, I was on target, ready, clear my back blast.
You're clear.
Fire. And direct hit.
Alright, good hit. So, and just as a small point, as I'm sure most of you understand, this is a soft launch, which means that there's a small charge in the tube that ejects the missile from the tube before the main rocket engine goes off, or a cold launch is what it's also called, and that is instead of being a hot launch like an AT-4 where the rocket motor is actually ignited in the tube.
Alright.
Yep, I could notice it. Just launches like little launch, and then the
Yep.
rocket actually starts working in the air.
Yeah, just as a bit of a trivia factoid here. Alright, so Jub is next. I'm sure you can wow us all with your ability on the jab.
I'm trying to find a target.
I would recommend finding a target.
Fill my back blast just in case, because it might shoot you.
Go ahead, Zedek. Let's put the vehicles in a junkyard. It'll be a good idea.
Josh, I've dropped a javelin from the field.
It's actually pretty good
Okay.
practice. Dude, if you want a good idea, just turn the
Damn it. That was my target.
right, little question, Aqua.
Flashing black.
Yeah,
That's pretty weird.
Would this weapon actually
Yeah, it's
fire
just the
without a
plug-in
lock?
and add-on version do not match. They're just
What,
flashes
the-
black.
yeah, it'll fire at any point, but it won't hit anything.
Why didn't
course.
his tank blow up?
So just as a heads
I'm
up,
gonna
guys.
restart.
Okay, we're dealing with some problems here, I guess.
Yeah, Aqua, as soon as you need some more vehicles, give me I will get some in place in this.
Great, thanks. Alright, so it's pretty simple here. The concept of the javelin, it's lock on, it's easy to use as long as you know that. It pretty much always gets a kill if you can hit it squarely on. There's a direct assault version, but if you're engaging, or a direct fire mode, but if you're engaging armor, that is not advised. Because it is much easier to score a kill with a top attack through the weaker top armor of any vehicle. Alright, let's get Jackson, if we want to start moving those vehicles on, we're going to go ahead and do dragons.
Sure.
So, if people want to, I'm going to start setting them up myself. If anybody else knows how to set up a dragon, you can help me out here.
Do you use the javelin on moving targets as well, or do you wait until they're stationary?
You can use it on moving targets.
It's not as good as stationary though.
Yeah.
So it will still track a moving target?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So set up some dragons. We're going to set them up just on this line. The targets are going to be in the same junkyard type area. This is going to be a little bit more difficult, but I think we can deal with it. And remember, we're going to set them up on the ground. So what you need to do is pull out the dragon and the day sight. Then go over to where you want to place it and use your ace self-interact key to deploy the dragon. Well, what's going to happen is after you've deployed it, you're going to then have a scroll wheel option to get in the dragon as a gunner. And once you're in it there, as long as you have the J sight, there are 4 sights in there, you will be able to get into optics with your regular ass optics key.
Well, I'm in there and I have my day sight, but there is no optics on me. Or at least I can't enter it.
Press 0 on your numpad.
Yeah, 0 is the default for your super optics. I don't know exactly what to call that.
Yep, I see them now. So, should I try shooting or not yet?
Let's make sure we clear our backblast, guys. And we're just gonna try. This is a little bit more loose. There's a bunch of missiles there. I want everybody to make sure you are confident that you can deploy it and then engage with it. And remember to clear your backblast before you start engaging. We're just gonna have kind of a free fire here. Try and get. Actually, wait a sec. No, we're gonna stop firing here for a second because I guess Jackson is still moving vehicles now.
Well, he's a good target. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna wait until they're out of them.
Yeah,
Oh, but that's no fun.
I'd actually love to try shooting
We are going to shoot them. We are going to shoot moving vehicles later on.
Hey, Aqua.
Yeah.
This dragon on the furthest left, watch. I go to try and get on it, and it just does that.
Hang on, I wasn't looking. Now I am. It's kicking you out. What the hell?
So
Let me try and get in.
Is the dragon like a Russian weapon or American?
It's fine for me. It's American. It's the heavier anti-tank missile before the Javelin was. It's a Cold War. It's an American Cold War missile. It's kind of good and old school and weird.
Yep. It looks a lot like a javelin, but yeah. Alright, so I'm ready to shoot, should I?
Yes. Clear his back blast. We're all good. You can fire.
Alright, firing now.
There are still backpass on CSW weapons?
There
Yes.
should be.
Okay.
So we're gonna, as I was saying to guys earlier, this is more of a free form thing. Just make sure that your back blast is clear, so everybody stay away from behind them. Just get in those. Make sure that we're all comfortable with setting up and using the dragons here, and just engage the targets as you can. Remember, that missile is going to follow your crosshairs, but unlike, say, a tow, it's got a very odd propulsion system, which is, again, it farts. Those are small explosive charges in the back of the missile, so it's not going to move the way it is. This is a weapon that needs a little bit more skill to actually hit targets with, but it is still guided. You will notice that you need to aim above your target and then kind of bring it down. That is the easiest way to do. Once the rocket has been used, you may reload your dragons. I forget exactly how here. I'll make sure that I get it.
Okay, backblast clear.
Clear my backblast.
Alright, clear my back blast. I got somebody right next to me. Move to your right.
Well, it really does fart, doesn't it?
Alright, clear the toes back blast. Clear the toes back blast.
You clear.
Where'd you aim that one?
On that tank. Hit in between.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, why did it blow up though? I hit it right on.
Sometimes this is not an exact science here. Sometimes they go off, especially something like a T90, which that is.
That's DO layer.
Oftentimes they are disabled, but they will not blow up.
Explode. Yeah, DU layer, CO layer, whatever they're called. Yeah, Russians have them too.
Well, yeah, they tend to like ERA more. But yes, and you may, if you have an extra dragon missile in your inventory, you will not put the tube down when you set it up. So what you can do is if you have an extra dragon, the actual tube that's in your backpack slot will not be put down when you set up the missile. So if you put down a missile, then you go back to the vehicle, you get an extra M47 missile, then you reload, you are then able to put down another dragon. So one man with a couple of missiles can put down 5 launchers. That kind of stuff.
Oh, the dragon's still broken.
It's working for me.
No, I have infinite dragon. Oh no, okay, no, I don't. I have 2.
Yeah,
One-
you could carry 2.
No, I
Wow,
had
we
2
made-
from 1.
Made a mess here.
Yeah, it's gonna get messier before we're done too.
I want to try close quarter.
We're gonna do close quarters. We're gonna do everything here. This is just the initial. We're gonna do a lot of rocket launching today.
No, I meant like. Never mind. This is actually pretty fun. Can you spawn a moving vehicle?
Clear
We
back.
can
Yeah, we will later. Once we've gone through all of these things. Once we have checked all of them, when he says clear back, let's get out from behind him. Once we've gone through everything else here, so we've got some MAWs, some AT4s, and some other stuff to go through. Once we've kind of familiarized, I'll start spawning enemies and we can start engaging all of them.
Can I try one of those dragons?
Yeah, yeah. Everybody jump in the dragons. Try and find one that still has a rocket.
Huh. I think those are AI.
Somebody spawned one, I guess. So you're free fire on those.
Yeah, I want to kill them.
Like, for some reason, everything's exploding.
You do. There's a day cycle. Guys, we're I'm trying to keep this informal here, but if we start hitting each other with backblast and we start spawning vehicles at random, we're gonna have an issue. So let's just try, stay smart, and we're taking enemy fire.
The fuck? Alright, how do you reload a dragon?
You are able to deploy another tube. I see him now. I'm gonna engage enemy infantry.
He's down.
Clear the tow backblast.
Wait, shit, wait. Alright.
Actually, never mind. They're all dead.
Yeah. You were about to knock them right off if you shot that thing.
Well, that's why I asked for a clear backblast before I fired it. We just, who the hell just shot another one? Please, again, I don't care if you've checked it visually, you always say clear backblast. Because we're sitting here on a hill and nobody's shooting back at us, but when people start shooting, it gets a little chaotic, and then before you know it, you've killed a friendly with an AT4 backblast.
Yeah, it happens in a TV team once. We're all stressed out, and then this guy pulled our feet. We're all like, shit, no! 6 guys dead.
Is that another enemy there?
Yeah, there's an enemy BMP. Far left dragon. You're clear.
Where's that BMP?
You should be able to hit 0 on your numpad. That's default.
Yes, but where's the BMP?
I drove through the junkyard. I have no eyes.
Okay, I see a tank. I'm going to try and hit that. Clear backblast.
Alright, you're clear.
Firing. hit. Doesn't explode. Oh, there it is.
There's another one. So just
I think it's Jub.
Yeah.
All right, good hit.
I'm replenishing
All right,
the
guys,
target.
we're done with these guided ones for now. We are going to move on to the AT4s. So everybody drop your jabs, drop your dragons, get to the vehicle and pull out an AT4. The only
want
difference
moving
between the two, the regular AT4 has a much stronger backblast. Do not fire the regular AT4 inside of a building. It will kill you. You, however, can fire the AT4 CS. That CS stands for confined spaces. And you are able to fire that inside a building. Now, it has a mean backblast and a pretty limited range here. So I think we are going to have to, if we're not going to engage anything for right now. I want to bring up some vehicles a little bit closer to where we are here. So Jackson, Jub, if you want to, I'm going to probably hop back too.
Yeah, I'm gonna try hit with driving dog because he's really annoying. I'm not gonna go down there with him driving that.
They don't eliminations anyway, so you don't take elimination.
They are a one-use preloaded tube.
Clear back now.
Backblast clear.
We're not shooting anything yet.
I wanna clear that enemy down there before I go down there and meet
Oh, right. Okay. Then you're fine.
Roger that. Clear back close.
Well, that's all right. Because we're not in a confined space, you're all right.
Okay.
That's fine.
How's the hold down from this position where the new
Go, Jackson.
272 can...
Okay, so what you're going to do with an AT4, real basic, you pull it out, you then hit R to raise the sights and ready the weapon. Then you are good to fire. Your aim point is going to be on there. An optic will pop up, just iron sights will pop up. You are able to, using your up and down keys, range the weapon out to 500 max. And we'll go over this a little bit later, more of this a little bit later. But you are able to... the hell? Oh, okay. You're really, a lot of what the AT4 consists of is ranging things, being able to understand how to range things. That is, how to choose how much. Now, nobody is going to engage these. We are all weapons very tight. These are being driven, so we can engage them a little bit later. Being able to range things, being able to guess how far, how long something is away, and then fire on it. Generally, when you're using the AT4, well, with any AT weapon, armor is the weakest at a flat angle, at a 90-degree angle. That means if just like a wall standing right in front of your face, you want to engage it, just do straight on, just hit, essentially what you're looking at your monitor now, just poke your shit right at it. That is a flat angle, a 90-degree angle, and that does the most damage with a shape charge, with anything essentially for armor. Hitting it at an oblique angle, an obtuse, an acute angle, anything that's to the side, you're gonna do less damage. So when you're trying to engage with an AT4, try and keep in mind where the most heavily armored spots of a vehicle are. You have the glacis plate on the front of a tank, and that's going to be the heaviest armor there because it's going to be it's going to be sloped to try and deflect shells, and it is going to be the heaviest armor on a tank. Obviously, the front is where you might confront other tanks with. Weaker on the sides, and in the rear, the weakest armor is the top and bottom. So remember that when you're engaging, the ideal shot is going to be on a flat angle, close range. Yeah, so your AT4s are going to be your close in, your last method of engagement. But if you are doing an actual, if you do not have anything better, you should know your AT4s forward and back. You should be able to make essentially anything within 200 meters you should be able to hit. Because these kinds of unguided AT skills are vital, especially in TVTs where oftentimes there is no heavy AT. So I think we are going to, if Jubb and Jackson, you want to stay clear of the area there, I think we're going to start engaging.
Jubb's good.
Okay. First person to shoot is going to be Josh. Why don't you tell me how far you think that BMP3 is?
Which one is that?
It's the BMP3. Maybe I need to run an armor identification course here too. It is going to be the one that from your position, yeah, it's due south. It's a big boxy looking thing with a smallish turret with a 100-meter and a 30-millimeter chain gun. So again, remember your best shot is going to be to hit it from the side. Now, how far out do you think that is?
I would say it's pretty close.
Remember, guys, that when you're looking to range these things out, you can check your map. Every small grid square is 100 meters square. So you can kind of, if you can guess where the enemy vehicle is and where your position is, that is, if you have the time, you might be able to pre-register that.
Just.
And it's about 100 meters away. If it's filling only a third of that, and it will be 200 meters. If it's barely even visible in there, then it's most likely 300 or 400 meters. That's how I learned shooting that thing.
Yeah, that's a basic one. Anyways, yeah, that's a good way to look at it too, although in Arma it can be a little bit sketchier. So why don't you range yours out to 100 meters and take your shot?
Alright, clear backlash.
You're good.
Firing.
There we go. Good hit. Okay, so it's fairly simple. You can range it forward and back with your up and down keys. Understanding how far things are away from you is very important. Next shooting, we're going to put Brazda, and what I want you to engage is the BMP-2. That is to your 200-ish. It's in Pakistani colors. So if you're looking at that, how far do you think that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be about 300. You can look on the map. You can see the fence line and how close it is to the fence line. So if you want to range it to 300 and just fire, go ahead. Remember to try, when you're going to try and hit it here, put it up a little bit. So you want to, your aim point is going to try and be the top middle of the turret. That's generally a good rule.
Okay, clear back.
You're good. There we go. Good hit. That one may not cook off, but you tucked it. All right. So we're kind of getting the feeling here. It's pretty simple. Ninja, why don't you try and hit what looks like a BMP-2 that is sitting to your southeast, so like your 160.
Yep, I got visual, but that's the front. That's not gonna blow it up, but okay.
Just hitting it is the most important thing here.
It will kill the crew.
Alright.
Try and hit the turret.
Would that hit the under armor because it's kind of pointing up?
Yeah, that's something else, that when vehicles are coming over a ridge like that, if you can, hitting
Hit the
under
bottom.
that, hitting the bottom will be much more effective than hitting the top. With something like this, I don't know, I'd urge, if you shoot too low and miss it completely, you won't do any damage. If you shoot a little bit higher, if it's a BMP and you have an AT4, I would go ahead and just take that shot, even if we're touching the front glacis plate. But, you know, if you had a lot of confidence that you could hit that under, maybe try so, but I would urge just taking the safe shot and putting the round on target rather than trying to score a knockout punch on the first one.
Alright, I give that a 150 to 200. I think a 150 around it would be fair.
150 and aim a little high, maybe. And when you're ready.
Alright, I'm ready. Clear my back blast.
You're good.
Oh,
The fuck?
too high.
A little too high, although that dropped pretty good there.
That was right above it.
All right,
Can
well,
I give it another try?
yeah, drop the tube. See, that one's used now, so switch to a weapon.
Press F.
Okay, and then... Okay, that was weird. You can just take mine.
That's awesome. I didn't know you could pull out your binos with an AT4.
I did not either.
Alright, sorry about missing.
That's not a problem. We're here to specifically get the feel for this kind of stuff.
Alright, let's hope I don't fuck up this time. Clear my back blast.
You're good. There we go.
But obviously, it was the front armor, so it won't start cooking off.
Yeah, the way that Arma models that, it's not going to. So, who hasn't shot yet?
I'll shoot it.
Bertrand. Okay.
Bertrand. All right. Why don't you take the T-34? He is over to the southwest.
The one closest by.
You can choose either one.
I'll take the closest one. I think it's about 150 to 200 meters.
Maybe 250. That's at least my guess. So once you're ready, just call out.
Okay, ready. Back blast clear.
Yeah, you're good.
Firing.
There you go.
200 meters. That's what I set it at.
Yeah, a little closer than I thought it was. I'm not phenomenal at that, but I
No,
try.
I'm just saying, so...
Yeah. All right, and who else hasn't gone?
Chip chip.
Joe, why don't you take something? Why don't you try the T90?
Yeah. Oh,
It's not
actually, I was
gonna
gonna
do
go.
anything at all.
Again, we're more about hitting things.
A little over.
Yep. All right, so we have another 3 in there, so if people want to come up, grab the next 3, and we'll take a second shot.
Aqua?
Yep.
If in a combat situation I do hit that BMP I shot again, would it blow up?
Sometimes.
It really depends.
The crew'd be dead anyway.
Yeah.
Why would you want to?
Generally, the crew is dead. Generally, an AT4 is enough to disable it. That's something else I was going to get to later, the difference between actually destroying a vehicle and a mobility kill or a crew kill. A mobility kill just being that they cannot move anymore. Either it's disabled tracks or damaged anything else. And generally, if you're actually fighting somebody, a mobility kill is almost as good as an actual kill. Because generally they just will not be able to engage. In some situations they might still be within gun range and you might have to try and damage it more, but generally that's almost as good as a total kill, because especially with lighter vehicles, with tanks, you know, there's more of a chance that the crew might survive, but with lighter vehicles, generally that crew is going to be destroyed if you hit it with, the crew is going to be killed if you hit it with an AT weapon, and so while the vehicle might not be completely destroyed, it is still essentially useless to the enemy at that point. So anybody who's got an AT4 left, we're just gonna use the last of them here on whatever target you feel like, and then we'll start moving on. Well, I think we're all gonna do a. We'll head back to. Actually, we probably have enough stuff here. We'll do another. We'll move some more vehicles over, and then we'll start working on the maws.
Okay, I'm gonna try on the tank to the southwest.
Okay.
Backblast clear.
Hang on.
Oh,
Wait. Jub, I think you're a little close.
It's not gonna touch me.
Okay. Do it.
It's- Yeah.
okay, firing. Ah, just over.
A little bit to the right. That was a close shot.
What is your range for?
250.
Okay. So
Two
whoever's up next.
250, and I aimed for the top.
Yeah. It seemed like it was a little bit more lateral movement than it was over, but I mean, you got to remember that T-34 is the design there. That turret, it sticks out a hell of a lot more than any later Russian MBT. So you've got this kind of pop-up little area there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I wasn't sure about the distance
ahead.
anyway.
Josh, clear, go. Or not.
Yeah, that was full on.
there you go. Good hit. All right, we got anybody else left?
Yep, Josh loaded.
Okay.
Clear backlast.
Clear.
You're good.
No.
All right, that's a hit. All right, I think that about does it for all this stuff. We're gonna have to bring some more vehicles up. So why don't we pile in not the SOF Humvee, but the other one? We'll teleport back, and everybody will bring some vehicles up. Actually, we'll just drive back while we answer questions. So.
Like a BMP, for example.
BMP won't be done much, but you could damage. Do we have any?
The tremors.
No, you are now full. So I guess you guys are driving back.
Okay, can I move?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, go ahead and drive back.
So,
Um,
for example,
yeah,
the
The Mark 19, they are HEDP rounds. So it's HE dual purpose. They do have a small shape charge in them, and they will be slightly effective on light armor. But I mean, essentially the rule is kind of anything with tracks you're not going to be able to fuck up. A lot of times with the BTR though, you can destroy wheels.
Can I break the fence, or do I have to go around?
No, go around. You're gonna kill us.
I spawn vehicles for everyone and their grandmother.
Great, thanks. And so, generally, things with wheels are going to be engageable by lighter. Even 50 cals can usually fuck up the BTR 60. So
you can disable it, for example, with a Mark 19.
it depends on the shots, but generally, yeah. You'll be able to destroy the tires. It's not going to be. It generally doesn't kill the crew, although sometimes it can.
No, tracks.
Tracks. No, you're not going to be able to destroy tracks with a Mark 19. This all depends on how thinly the actual vehicle is armored. So.
It seems very infrequent that the tracks are disabled in armor. Is there a reason for that?
In my experience, it's been, it's not super easy to disable them, but it is not incredibly hard either. A lot of times tanks, when they take a broadside from, say, a Dragon or a tow, they lose the, they actually lose that. Alright guys, so there should be vehicles spawning all around here. Hop in them, drive them back. Oh, they're down there. So hop back in that Humvee, man, and the vehicles are down to the northeast along there.
Northeast, he said.
Yeah, I think we passed them by the fence line.
But we're facing northeast now.
Yeah, I don't see any.
There's a whole shitload of Russian here. Either get in or.
Ah, at the
we're
end
gonna
of the
load up some
at the end
more
of the
AT
runway.
stuff. Yeah, at the end of the runway, they're down there.
Oh, I see.
That'd be nice. We're just gonna put a little bit extra of everything. So AT4s. Make sure that we have enough Maz rounds of all varieties. M72s, RPG 18s, AT4s. I said already. You know, put some more jab rounds in there. You know, everything essentially. Yeah, it should be fine. We're just kind of reloading a little bit. There should be a bunch already, especially of the HEA, so put some HE and some other stuff. We'll probably spawn some troops and stuff now. Getting close to it at least. The Gustav, well, they have HE rockets. The Gustav actually in real life has this incredible collection of rounds. I mean, 24 different kinds of rounds. Yes, the FFV, all three of those are able to be shot by the Maz. You've got an HE dual purpose, and a heat, which is just a straight anti-tank. I have no
It's got
idea,
a
but
weight. The Humvee has a weight, so.
we'll see how much we can cram in there.
What would be the effective range of a Dragon?
A Dragon? I'm not 100% sure.
I wouldn't go over 800.
Yeah.
Where's the wire?
It's supposed to be, it's not going to be like tow range. It's supposed to be, I'd say somewhere between, I wouldn't shoot anything, probably 1,300 meters would be my range.
Okay.
There's a sight on it. I think we ought to be all right for stuff in here now, so we'll just load up. I actually need to grab some stuff from another box, and then we'll load up and we'll get out. You eat it, they're high in potassium. It's a script, it's part of a script. Looks a little weird, but it's a thing. You don't. The eating it was a joke. No, you, it's part of a script that makes things okay in the game. You just kind of have to have it. You don't have to. There's ways that you can do it when you're not actually doing it. Anyways, so we're gonna mount up. We're gonna go. Hang on. I'm teleporting us. How far are we? Why that? Oh, there we are. All right. So the rest of you guys, if we want to kind of work our way over here, as long as we got some new vehicles out there. It's fine. Yeah. Ninja, get out of that turret. Okay. All right. We're gonna wait for everybody else to get over here. So if you guys are all kind of somewhere near there, we can hop back over with Humvee and gather you all up. Where are you? Okay. Well. All right. I am gonna I gotta go take a piss. So give me a minute.
Maybe we parked our vehicles a little bit too far.
What's that?
Maybe we parked our vehicles a little bit too far.
Well, I tried to hide mine behind a rock for this trick shot.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Alright, I'm gonna fire control, so. Right, this one up here with that list.
You should be clear. What is?
It's, try the RPG-7 PGO, so try looking through it.
Oh no, it's easy. It's really easy. It's my favorite scope.
Doesn't look so easy, it looks like a mass grid. To me, at least.
It's the best one because it's got your range table on the scope.
Alright, I am back. We are going to be doing the Moz now, aka Charlie G, aka the Goose, aka a lot of things. There should be enough in there for everybody, I think. And there are a number of different rounds here. We should start with either the heat or the HEDP rockets. Just get 2 rockets, don't load up. Now, the Gustav is kind of a remarkable weapon. It has been used for a very goddamn long time. And when I say used, I don't mean just sat in the arsenals of a couple of countries. I mean in active use the entire time. So, I'm actually going to pause here for a second and look to see if other people who were supposed to show up will. Hang on.
I didn't sign up, sorry.
Not a problem at all. Really, I encourage walk-ins. So anybody who wants to show up or do that, if you have people that you are going to be playing with in the actual event, tell them, stop on by, anything. We should be here for a while longer. And, so the Gustav is a recoilless, a one-shot recoilless rifle. It is very simply loaded and fired in the real world. It has a nasty backblast because it is not actually a rocket launcher. Because of the way that a recoilless rifle is, it has some special perforated holes on the shells that it fires, and your backblast is going to... It's supposed to kind of cancel out itself. It doesn't. The Gustav is vicious to fire. It's got a nice mean kick, and you do want to watch that back blast because it will come right out of the back there. That said, it has a lot of range. As Zedek said earlier, he's got one out over 2,000 meters. If you are good, you can hit it real goddamn far. The rounds themselves pack a lot of punch, and you can range things out. The max on the optic is 900, but as you can see, there's enough room on that so that you can actually still kind of seriously aim out to a good distance here. This is, like other unguided weapons, something that it takes a feel for. So if everybody wants to step up to the firing line here, we can just start engaging targets.
Which rocket does it take?
It should fill it up for you, but they are going to be the FFV. There's going to be heat, HEDP, and HE rounds. The heat, obviously, are the AT. You've got your dual purpose and your high explosives.
Yeah, Bertrand, Josh, and Brett, so you might want to step forward a little bit to get to the edge of that hill.
Just looking at
So the
my map.
firing line, when I say things like the firing line, I'm going to mean the 20 goddamn dragons that we put out here.
Yeah, I was just looking at my map.
It's sure. It's not a problem here. So find some targets. Don't be afraid to engage at a pretty good distance. This is something that is best used either with a range designator, just so we can get the feel of this. Once you pick your targets, tell me, and I'll tell you what the range is. For our first shots, later on, you'll have to estimate, just so you can dial it in so we can get some good shots here. Don't be afraid to go for long ranges, because I will be able to get it. So who wants to jump for it first?
Me. First one on the right.
Okay, so Ninja, what target do you have in mind?
There's a BTR bearing 225.
Yeah, I see it. Range is 450. So put it to 500 and shoot low.
Right. Clear my back blast.
You're good.
Now, because it's a recoilless rifle, does it have a faster travel time than just a rocket?
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Alright.
So that was a hit, right?
I kind of, yes. You actually were shooting for, you said it was a BTR, that was a BMP, so I actually ranged out a different vehicle. If you want to try again, do you have another round?
Yes, I do. So you were.
It's
aiming
about
for
the same.
BTR.
Um,
BTR to the left. A little.
Why don't you just engage that same target, see if you can. Remember, you want to try and hit that flat in the middle. The turret is always a good guide. You have to air because sometimes that shot will just kind of fall away on you, even when it should.
Alright,
So you're at, yeah, your range is about 475. So again, 500 and shoot a little low.
Alright, clear my back blast.
You're good?
Firing. Whoa.
That was pretty far up. Are you sure you were at 5?
Yep.
I think that was because he was lying down. It was kind of bouncing up when he shot the missile.
Right. I'm going to take a stab at this one, this target specifically.
Well, you told me 450. I don't know which target you were looking. Is it the
It
one?
was
I
because
was-
you were lying down. It was
That
because
I
he
hit
was lying
before.
down.
It's because you're lying
You
down.
should never lie
So
down with a rocket launcher.
yeah,
That will
always
cause the missile to bounce up.
always crouch.
Alright.
So I am actually going to take a swing at this.
Okay,
Clear my
Ninja,
back blast.
Watch out, Ninja, you very close. Yeah.
Back blast clear.
All right,
I'd love to take a second shot if I can. Or a third.
we'll get you another one.
There you go.
So right. All right, so who's next? Who wants to take a shot next? Any target.
Person.
Okay.
All right, what do you like?
I'll take the one next to the fence in the corner. But I'm sorry, I'm very bad at recognizing things.
Okay, does it have wheels or treads?
8 wheels.
BTR.
It has
Okay,
8 wheels.
Well, your range is 450. So you can either do, I would suggest putting it at 400 and shooting high.
Okay. I'm ready. Backblast clear.
You're good to go.
Firing.
There you go.
Perfect.
That's it.
It's a good hit.
Yeah, I aimed actually over the vehicle.
You see me? And I almost got knocked out by the back.
So
Look what I did.
watch the backblast from the Moz. It is mean. It's actually a real. It sucks to fire too. Apparently, it just hits you in the chest.
Oh yeah.
So, who is the next participant here?
Me, brother.
All right. So, what are you thinking?
That light vehicle. Bearing 225.
BMP1.
How far is that out? Where are you talking about? Oh, the is it the M113?
Behind a rock.
Yep, that is the M113. You are at 500. When you're ready.
Okay, clear backblast.
All right. In the middle of the junkyard over to the northwest, we're going to drive them out to about 052s, 113-ish. We're going to leave them in a number of different places on the junkyard. I will then roll up in the Humvee. We'll collect you guys from them, and we will roll up to a position at about 054, 118-ish. Got real good overlook on there. We have, yeah, and this is going to be our firing pause. I'll put that on the map too.
Aqua.
Yeah.
I can use the teleport function to place them if you want to, if that's easier.
Well, I'm gonna have
Obviously,
to.
only if it's easier. If you want to do it your way, then that's fine. I just wanted to.
It doesn't really matter. And as long as you guys are cool with it, we'll just run out there. Everybody grab a tank, just drive it out to that position, and just stash it in a number of different places. So that's a baseline position, but on that X on the map, somewhere within 100 meters of that location, leave your vehicle, and I will be following up. That Humvee has enough AT to level the entire map, and we'll head up to the mountain and just start shooting.
Hey, Aqua.
Yeah.
Clear the backblast. See the, yeah, maybe everybody else should. You see all those, cars way the fuck out there? I used the small spotting round. I shot, 5 rounds at it. Finally hit that big rock out there, and I just piled a whole bunch of cars. I want to actually see if this will hit. So this is over, when you hit the up and down arrows with the small, FYI, it only goes up to 500. So this is way over, and I'm using like the bottom stadium on the site. Firing now. Just a little.
About, I think it's 2,500 meters. So it's the range is 2,500 meters and closer. There's a, anything real close is not going to go well with that. It also has a straight attack mode, though, I'd advise not using that one. You should be able to lock on the targets with that. It's a primary sort of way to do an actual assault. It's good on the defense, but once you get in tight, you'd rather have an AT4 because you've got time to acquire and lock on the javelin. The tow is a man-portable kind of, it's very heavy, crew serve weapon, where you have 2 separate parts and an ammo container. And the 2 separate parts, you've got a tripod and then the actual tow. The tow is effective out to about 4,000 meters. And it has a significantly heavier warhead than the Dragon or the Jav or anything else here. It's a powerful anti-tank unit. It is very easy to use. Once you've set it up, you fire it, it will follow your crosshairs, it will hit the target generally. So it is pretty easy to use. Does anybody have, before I get going here, is there anybody here who wants to go over, and we could probably do this on real targets, so that might be a little bit more fun. So I think what we're going to do right now is I am going to start spawning, or I guess Jub has already started spawning this stuff. We're all going to hop in those tanks, and we are going to drive them out to about a little over, yeah. That reminds me, everybody put in your, you killed the press, by the way. Everybody put in your earplugs.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot again. This should hit, I hope.
Well, I have AirPods on. Why am I...
Firing now.
Even with the earplugs
Yes,
on,
that's
you ring a
loud.
bit. There we go.
It's better.
Alright. So let's see if the other ones go up. Unfortunate. Alright. Alright guys, head to the tanks, get to the position. There are tanks to your southwest. Just everybody grab a vehicle, drive to the position. I will be following.
I know I'm a bastard.
I am not,
I'm
so
not.
that everybody can hear me. Just make sure that everybody gets a vehicle. So if everybody's in one already, yeah, grab it. We're going to be shooting at a variety of targets, tanks, BTRs, everything. And let's try not to shoot each other on the way there.
Hey, Aqua, is this AT training?
Yeah. No, it's marked on your map. The location that we need to go is marked on your map. It's
Why
pretty
am I
simple.
unable
It's
to
just in the
spawn
middle
up?
of the junkyard somewhere.
Why am I unable to?
You're ranging out to your target, you know, manually or your own kind of guessing there. Then you switch over to your spotting rifle, fire the round. It's a tracer round. If it hits the target, great. That is where your rocket will hit once you launch that.
So it's just to testing.
Yeah,
sort of, to
it's
confirm.
yeah, but it actually
It's a
helps a
bullet.
lot
It'll kill people,
because it will actually kill people. You can shoot people with it. It does help a lot because you can confirm shots pretty easily and pretty quickly. Okay.
Avoids embarrassment mostly.
Yeah. Moving on, the Dragon is now the Dragon's a fun system because it doesn't really use a rocket. It kind of uses small explosives on the charge.
It farts.
Yes, it does fart. It's a fun thing, but it's a little bit screwed up. To use the Dragon, you have to deploy it on the ground with your ace keys. So you will have the Dragon and the sight unit. You will hit R, the Dragon will load. You will then use your ace keys to deploy the Dragon. It'll deploy on the ground. You will then have to get in like it's a CSW, like it's a crew serve weapon. And only then can you fire it. A very easy way that you're doing this is you always want to aim up with the Dragon. We'll learn more about that later, but you always want to aim above your target to begin with the Dragon because it drops like a motherfucker. The Javelin, obviously we all know, kind of based around that. Man-portable, fire and forget, top attack, anti-tank missile. Good long range. However, the actual launcher will not lock onto anything out past. It was working for me earlier today,
How do you do it?
but I kind of don't want to tell you because I feel like you're going to spawn a massive assault on us while we're trying to
No,
train.
I know how to spawn enemies and everything. I'm in the empty vehicles.
The empty vehicles, there is the way that I was spotting them was in a. Yeah, there's a. The. Okay, guys. When you're out of your
I see.
tanks here, you just come to the Humvee. We'll all load up and we'll drive up there. Well, we'll engage them later. We're gonna shoot a lot of AT rounds, so don't worry. We'll have time.
Please in the game to take a lot more shots than Russian for some reason.
Okay, I'm in.
Alright, we're waiting for another couple. Is there anybody who just drove your vehicle around and is not in the Humvee?
Oh, there's still one guy behind us.
Alright, cool.
It's job.
I think there's one man behind.
Yeah, they'll meet us up there. It's not a terribly difficult drive to make. Where the hell is a breach in the